Welcome back to Curious Greens. My name is Tammy, and today we're going to be walking through the garden at the end of May because things are changing really fast out here right now. Let's get into it. There are some things that are absolutely thriving right now. There are also some things that have slowed down, and I also have things that have completely transitioned out. Because this time of year, in the garden, in the high desert of Zone 9A, it feels a lot less like high spring or peak spring, and so much more like we are preparing for survival. So today I'm going to bring you along and show you what's growing well, what it is that I'm learning, and what I'm adjusting before summer fully arrives, and really just give you an update on where my garden is right now. One thing I'm noticing right now is how quickly the garden changes once temperatures start climbing. A few weeks ago, it still felt soft and spring-like, and now my garden feels fuller and taller and more intense. The sun is a lot harsher, my watering needs are changing, and suddenly I'm actually thinking a lot less about planting and more about protecting what's already here. I've been focusing a lot on layered watering systems, shade cloth, and really paying attention to how the garden behaves throughout the day. The interesting thing about gardening in a space like this is that even a few feet can completely change conditions. These pavers hold heat, the walls reflect light, and some beds dry out faster than others. And I'm learning that observation matters just as much as planting. My tomatillos are growing so full and so abundantly. I'm super excited for tomatillos this year. My tomatoes are finally starting to feel established. Some varieties are flowering heavily, and some are already fruiting. Some others are definitely moving along slower than others. I've also been learning how differently each tomato behaves in this climate because I have tomatoes that want aggressive pruning, but I have others that seem a lot happier when there's more foliage to protect them from the sun. And honestly, out here, there's a balance between airflow and sun protection. Too much exposure can become a problem really fast once those temperatures start pushing towards triple digits. Now, in cooler climates, people can often prune really aggressively, but in the high desert garden, sometimes those extra leaves actually help protect the fruit from sun scald and from heat stress. The basil has truly been one of the happiest plants in the garden so far. It grows so quickly this time of year, and I'm constantly harvesting it just to keep it from taking over nearby plants. But I actually love growing basil alongside tomatoes because it fills in space beautifully, it helps shade the soil a little, and it makes the garden smell incredible every time I brush past it. The peppers are starting to wake up too, and I'm so excited about it. They always seem very slow in the beginning compared to tomatoes. That's because they actually are. But I will tell you that once the heat really settles in, peppers tend to become some of the strongest plants in the garden. I actually think that they like this climate way more than I do. Now, one of the things that I noticed with peppers is that deep, consistent watering matters way more than watering frequently. The watering allows them to intake calcium, and the same is with tomatoes as with peppers. Enough water with calcium intake will prevent blossom end rot. My squash and zucchini are growing incredibly fast right now, like suspiciously fast. I feel like I walk outside and suddenly there's another giant leaf or another flower that wasn't even there the day before. One thing that I'm watching closely with squash is airflow and leaf health because once the weather heats up, pests and powdery mildew can move in really quickly if the plant becomes overcrowded. The cucumbers are also growing nice and full and hopefully will be climbing really soon as well. I honestly think that growing vertical changes everything in a small garden. Watching these vines move upward instead of outward makes the space feel so much bigger and more productive. I'm realizing more and more that trellising isn't just about saving space. It also improves airflow and makes harvesting easier and keeps plants healthier overall. My sunflowers are getting taller every single day, and I'm especially excited to watch the beans start climbing them. There's something so really beautiful about layering plants together in this way. It feels productive, but it also feels natural, like the garden is learning how to support itself in a way. One of the things that I love about using vertical plants like sunflowers is that they create little pockets of shade and they provide protection for the smaller plants that are nearby during extreme heat. I'm also growing bush beans as well, and I cannot wait to have fresh garden beans out of my garden this summer. And then there are the plants that just make the garden feel joyful. We're talking about strawberries and flowers and even melons when they start to spread, although mine are still pretty small right now. Even if they're not producing heavily yet, they bring movement and color and softness into this space. And quite honestly, all gardens need a little bit of all of that too. One of my absolute favorite things to do right now is watch how many pollinators are starting to show up. The flowers are doing more than just making the garden pretty. I mean, of course they're pretty, right? But they're also helping to bring life into this space. I think flowers change the energy of a garden completely. So even when I'm tired or I'm overwhelmed, when I walk outside and I see flowers moving in the wind, it reminds me why I started building a garden in the first place. However, not everything is thriving right now, and because you deserve to see the real, I think that this actually matters as well. Some of the cool season crops that I have are clearly reaching the end. These sweet pea flowers gave me a beautiful season, but the heat is starting to win. Some of my other flowers are struggling. A few of my plants are telling me very clearly that their season is over. I think one of the hardest things as a gardener is learning not to force a season to continue once that nature is ready to move on. Every part of gardening has a rhythm. There's growth, there's abundance, and then there's transition. And right now, the garden is standing right at the threshold between spring and summer. A lot of what I'm doing right now is not glamorous. It's infrastructure, it's watering, it's protection, it's trying to build systems that will help the garden survive through the hardest part of the season. I've been experimenting with shade cloth, adjusting watering schedules, working on my drip irrigation, and trying to create a garden that can handle the extreme heat without completely burning me out in the process. Because one of the things that I'm learning is that sustainable gardening also has to be sustainable for the actual gardener. You know, there's this version of gardening online where They make everything look effortless, but I'm going to be honest with you, that's not my reality. When I'm coming out here, this is really more about troubleshooting than anything. And I want you to know that I actually love a beautiful garden. I'm an interior designer by day, so aesthetic is very important to me. But the truth of the matter is, your garden can be wild and unruly and sometimes a little messy, and that's also true for my garden. As much as I try to stay on top of pruning my tomato plants, I'm gone for a couple of days and I come back and it's like a jungle. And it just happens. But guess what? My tomatoes are still growing and thriving and producing, and that's what's important. I want you to know that if that's your situation and your garden is not quite Instagram worthy, it's okay. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be real. As long as it's productive and you're doing what you can to keep the garden going and you are learning things, that's what it's all about. So just keep at it. Over the next few weeks, the garden is going to shift again. The warm season crops are just getting started. The melons are beginning to take off. The beans are climbing. The sunflowers are getting taller. And I'm really curious to see what this garden becomes once summer fully settles in. I also want to continue to experiment more companion planting, more vertical growing, more shade strategies, and honestly, probably more mistakes too. But I think that's part of building a real garden. Not perfection, just observation, adjustment, and continuing to grow right alongside it. I really hope that today's video encouraged you to go out and spend some time observing your garden too. Not just what is growing well, but what the garden is trying to teach you. I believe that every season asks something different from us as gardeners. And I also feel like this particular season is asking for patience, preparation, and adaptability. Thank you for spending time with me in the garden today. If you're growing in this season alongside me, I'd love to hear what's thriving in your garden right now. Please tell me in the comments below. Curious Greens is where we are growing with the earth and we are finding our roots together. Until next time, see you soon.